This video that you're watching right now is hell. I've been trying for so fucking long to make this video good that I've given up and I'm just gonna make it like I normally make videos. I've been trying for so long to make some sort of deeper point about something and it always comes out bad. This is the third version of this video, right? And you know me, my videos aren't short. Each of those previous videos was like 40 to an hour long. So fuck it. This is a Patreon request video for someone who used to be known as Yoshika Miyako, I believe. I think. Either way, they're now called RED. Here's their YouTube channel, and they wanted me to talk about their YouTube channel, which I'm fine with, but for some reason I gave myself the challenge of making some sort of making it clever. I was like, I can't just talk about things. I have to be a smart ass about it. Fuck that. I'm just gonna actually just talk about the channel and just give my thoughts in a stupid way without editing. I don't give a fuck, okay? I'm sorry if this is disappointing for you, for paying for it, but honestly, it's better. Otherwise, I would never get it done. I've tried for so long, doesn't work. You know the deal. But here it is. It's finally happening. So this is RED, which is a much simpler name to say, much better name. Thank you for changing your name. They have a YouTube channel. As you can see, they're the sort of person that puts anime on all of their thumbnails. And, if I was to sum up their YouTube channel, I would say archetypical neatcore YouTube videos. They talk about being a neat. They walk around. They like hiding in my room. Similar to Star, but different in that this guy isn't so interested in misinterpreting high concept shit. I'm more just interested in documenting their daily life. Now, I have certain problems with this YouTube channel, as I do with most YouTube channels, including my own. Namely, for a while there, seems that they've uploaded some more videos since then, which I've watched some of, and they seem to be slightly better. But for a while there, this person was doing a lot of rants about the NEET subreddit, and that has been the focus of these previous videos where I kind of failed to make it, because I kept being distracted. I kept being like, why is this person so obsessed with the NEET subreddit? You're going on Reddit. Of course it's shit. It's two things that are antithetical to each other. The raw what's the word? Tangibility of neatdom versus the impossible fake spectacle that is Reddit. Those two things are never gonna work. I don't know why you'd expect them to work. But it seems like this person has sort of somehow overcome that, which I'm very happy about. So, in general, these videos, although they have anime thumbnails, I'm assuming this is what is referred to as the Digibro method of getting clicks, which is put a big anime face in the thumbnail. As you can see, it sometimes works. So let's just watch a random video, eh? The Nazi trannies. Sorry about that. I don't know. It's like I've watched plenty of these videos now, more than I would have if I just was not being paid to do this video. And it's very hard to come up with anything to say, because you watch one video by this guy. Well, that's not even true, because this is what's weird, is that they have various videos. For example, let's there's a standard, what I would count as the standard RED video, which would be something like I don't know, probably this one, right? Oh look, he hasn't gotten over it.
This was this post I remembered, so I came back.
Actually, this isn't good because this is a screen recording. There was one that I just watched. Where was it? Fuck. Was it this one? Yeah. See, this is the same sort of style as videos that I generally make. You know, filming a laptop, just talking into it in a dark room for a while. Pretty, it's good content if you like that sort of stuff. It's fine.
Watching anime, instead of that being more observant, maybe then you would actually enjoy the content that you're watching.
The difference is that this is more of like a a rant. I would call it like a rant. Like most of his videos are like rants. Like he has some sort of opinion, normally a negative opinion, and he's just like kind of bitter. But I feel like very relatable to a lot of NEETs. The problem I have is that there's a sort of fetishization of the NEET lifestyle, which a lot of people do, which I'm fine with, but they do it in the wrong way. They're enjoying things in the wrong way, and that annoys me. But they have some very good videos. For example, they have some drawing videos which are really great. I really like these this style of art. Like, it looks really good. As you can see, very much my shit. This sort of scratchy anime style, I love it. Very good art. I wish they did more art videos because these are all quite old. But I've watched all of these art videos and they're all really good. They also seem to have a hamster. So there's a very typical, is typical the right word? Very classical NEET obsessions here. You got the anime, you got the Yume Nikki. There's Yume Nikki everywhere. Even the profile picture is Yume Nikki, which is fine. You know, Yume Nikki is one of my favorite games. You got the Lanes. Is that Lane? That's not Lane, but it's drawn by the same person who drew a very famous image of Lane. But I'm sure you got the Lanes. You know, you got this bitch who pisses on people or whatever. You got the Tohos, I'm assuming. You got your fucking Tomokos. You know, all this shit's fine. You got your Umarus, that's maybe not so fine. But, like, a lot of it is completely understandable. Very typical or classical NEETdom. This is like the Baroque NEET. Like the Baroque of NEETdom. Like, it's just an essence of what it classically means to be a NEET sort of hikikomori type guy. Although, he seems to call himself a hikikomori, but I've seen, like, many vlogs where he goes outside, so I feel like that's just not true. I don't know. I guess Nikki Komori? Yume Nikki Komori. That's a good name for one of these style channels. Hey, anyone who watches my videos and wants to make a channel where they just vlog like me, call yourself a Yume Nikki Komori, because that's a good name. I really don't know. This is the thing. It's really hard to talk about this because their channel, in the message that I got of what to, it was like the lore surrounding the channel. And when I first got it, I was like, okay, this channel must have some clever sort of deep lore type things, like a sort of, I was expecting like a Horseshoe Saga type of, like, everything doesn't seem connected, but when you watch everything in a row, you start to build a picture and there's actually some overarching plot that might be like an ARG type thing. No, there's nothing like that. I don't understand why he said to do a deep lore thing. I just don't get it. There is, like, I don't see any deep lore going on here. All I see is videos that are pretty good. Like, personally, as you can see, I'm not really subscribed. I find it, although I make this style of video, I was only into this style of video for a little while. I don't really watch any of them anymore. I'm not subscribed to any of these YouTubers that you would expect me to be subscribed to. But this guy seems to be doing pretty well for himself. I mean, 3.5k? That's not bad for this kind of channel. It's pretty damn good, actually. And it's not that all his opinions are bad. I don't believe that for a second. I think I just clicked this one. No, but there was one that I just clicked. I've been, like, scrolling through random videos and just clicking them and watching a bit of it. And you just find all sorts of weird shit. Like, it'll just be anything. It could be literally anything. You could click on a video and you'll click on it, skip to the middle, and it will just be like, these transgenders, they're the artificial gender, and then you got the two genders that are the real genders, and then the artificial gender. It's like, maybe, sure, mate, why not? Why not? But then you get, like, other things where it's just like the cuck NEETs. What?
Oh boy, so we got this NEET subreddit again. I'm making another video on the NEET subreddit, babe.
What a surprise! Do you see why it's hard? Do you see why it's hard for me to really talk about this? Because all his videos are just kind of disconnected, random shit about stuff that doesn't really interest me. Or not interest me, but it's not the sort of thing I think about or I'm interested in thinking about. Like, I really couldn't care less about the drama on the NEET subreddit, which this guy seems to care a lot about. And it's not that there's anything, like, I said before, I made kind of a joke that, like, of course the NEET subreddit is going to be trash. And, you know, trash is subjective. Personally, there's no way I would ever care about something going on the NEET subreddit. But I'm sure the NEET subreddit is, like, big, and a lot of people care about it. I mean, my video, Weiji is in a KG, got posted there once. That's my only experience with it. That's why it has loads of views, because someone posted it on the NEET subreddit. Right? Now, you know, for me, that sort of thing is not interesting. But it would be like, imagine if you're really into like Can Cole or something, where you can get really autistically into something, or maybe even like Fate. That's probably a better example, like the Fate series, with loads of intertwining lore and stuff. If I was to make a video about a very specific part of the Fate series that is like, you have to be into it to understand, no one would watch it, really, but the people who were into it would probably really like it. It's probably the same thing with these like subreddits. Like, personally, since I'm not into the NEET subreddit at all, and don't think I ever will be, these videos are just confusing to me because I don't understand the context. But if you have been in the NEET subreddit for like a year or whatever, or more, I don't know what time is, if you've been in the NEET subreddit for ages, and you click one of these videos, you're probably like, oh, I understand all the context and history behind this post. I understand who the person talking and their relationship to this place is. Like, there's probably a bunch of shit going on that I don't even understand because I'm not in these communities, which is cool, and I respect it, even if I can't understand it myself, even if I can't necessarily understand the appeal myself, which is why it's confusing that he even asked me to do this rant, because at no point have I ever expressed any solidarity with the broader Hiki or NEET communities. At all times, I've never even referred to myself as a Hikikomori, and I've only said I'm NEET adjacent, not a NEET, which is why it's confusing to me. But I do respect this channel, which you may think is ridiculous, seeing the thumbnails. I respect the fact that he's clearly got a niche, clearly, like, got something he likes to do, and people seem to like watching it, and clearly, like there's something about it. There's some sort of clearly he's aiming for his videos to be comfy, you know? I definitely understand it. I definitely understand the aim. The problem is that I'm not really in these circles that he's in, and it's very hard for me to relate and communicate. Like, a lot of stuff about Star, a lot of stuff, like, who are these people? I don't know. Who is Hikifag, the simp? Who are any of these people? I just don't know. He also seemed to be a little obsessed with Chads for a while. Now that's something I can understand. Now when I was into that stuff, when I was going on R9K, Chad and Virgin Meme and Incel, they weren't words yet. They weren't memes yet. Excuse me, I need to blow my nose. Yeah, none of those were memes yet. None of those were words yet. Incel wasn't a word. You had MGTOWs and robots, but not incels. But because of that, although I don't agree with those ideas anymore, I do understand the obsession with Chads and stuff. I think Chad actually was a word, but there was like no, mostly people used alpha, like alpha males and stuff like that. But like I understand the concept, obviously. So a video like that, I understand, and thus I am completely baffled by, because who cares? Like, if you're gonna, the only people that would possibly obsess over the Chad meme like this would be someone who has a completely different worldview to me that I am incapable of understanding. The autism is in a completely different place than I am. not necessarily higher or lower. It's not necessarily like higher or lower functioning, but like, just, this is the thing. Autism is a spectrum, not a sliding scale. Just because people have different types of autism doesn't necessarily make it better or worse. In real psychology, psychiatry, whatever, people don't use high functioning and low functioning to describe autism. They just have, it's like there's lots of different types of autism, but not all of them are necessarily, this one is objectively stronger than the other one. They're just different. And this person's autism is very different from mine, which makes it very hard to relate to their videos or even pass them. Like, they just sort of flow over me, and I'm like, what did I just watch? But not because they're badly made or anything. Like, they're essentially, on a surface level, they're exactly the same as a lot of my videos. You know? It's just that there's something about it. It's like a positive and a negative magnet. It's like there's gotta be a metaphor here that I can use. There has to be. There's something there about, like, an assumption that that's not even the right word. There's like it's on the actual videos are fine, but it's the stuff that's deeper than that. It's like the base culture and personality and experiences and relationships that build these videos, that form the underlying structure that the videos then recall back to, that I can't understand. I don't know why. Something about it. It just flows over me. It's like it just doesn't sink in, doesn't seem to make any impact in me. Now, maybe this is my fault, maybe this is his fault. I don't know. Clearly a lot of people seem to like it. But it's like the points that he makes just sort of like instantly reflect off of me. Like a day in the life of a wizard. You can't be a wizard. You're not like 30 or whatever. I don't know how wizardry works. Let's watch this. Let's watch this video. Okay, this is just a long meme video on Wizard Channel, whatever. I don't know. Let's just watch random video. This filthy world defiles everything important to me. I can understand that. This is a pretty standard, like, I don't know, 4chan meme. A cool room.
Yeah, so it was so fucking annoying. Oh my god. Like, I was, like, at first my mom was trying to tell me, she was trying to make me teach her and help her with some technology shit, and I was just trying not to. I was trying to avoid her. But, like, at first I was trying to avoid her, but then she forcefully, like, kept insisting, telling me to help her and teach her with some shit. So, and I already knew how this goes, because every time I try to teach her shit, she always whines and complains, and she's just extreme severe retard level when it comes to this shit with whole technology stuff. Oh, help me with technology, she says, and then she just whines and complains the whole time. In a simple little task, she can't even do that.
There's a relatable meme. There's a very relatable meme. Everyone can relate to boomers not being able to understand technology, but this guy seems very bitter, very bitter towards his mum, who, I mean, if he's a NEET, is probably the one supporting him. You know, I don't know. It just seems like a weird place to come from. It's not that much of a hassle to help your mum with technology. I do it all the time. I still think it's retarded that, you know what, my mum, she didn't know. She's been using the internet for a very long time. She didn't know what a tab was. She didn't know this button opened a new tab. She just thought they opened by magic. I don't know. And she also, instead of closing things, she always minimizes things. So they're always just on the bottom. And she has like 50 things on the bottom. Right? It's baffling. How can you not understand that? But you know, it takes 5 seconds to walk over there and just press a button and walk back. I can relate to this, but the base that it's coming from, like the attitude towards the problem is so different from mine. Like, yeah, it would be great if boomers understood technology, but they're all gonna die off soon anyway. It doesn't matter.
I was trying to teach her how to copy and paste, right? Copy and paste. It's so simple.
Yeah, I can I can relate to this so strongly. It's so simple. Why don't they get it? It's so easy. What's wrong with these people?
And yet she couldn't even do that. And after like 20 minutes of trying to get her to copy and paste, after she just complains, acts like a fucking retard, I just gave up. And I didn't want to do this shit anymore. But either way, I kept trying to teach her other stuff, and of course it was just too much for her. So I told her, why don't you just watch videos, teach yourself, you know, study it yourself on the internet, search it up, or just look up videos how to do certain
tasks. This is a relatable epic
tasks on the certain things on the internet. But of course she refuses to study on her own. She refuses to just search up and watch a freaking video, says, oh, I can't do it, and I find it very ironic. I find it very funny. Like, these fucking boomers, or just these old people, they can study in those boring-ass public school institutions. They can study in that shit. They can do all that boring crap in school. Like, they can be good in school. But the minute you tell them to study or search up or, study something on the internet, which is how we do things, which is how me or other people do things, oh, it's just too much for them. They can't do it. They absolutely refuse to just study on their own.
This is another example of where the point makes sense to me, but the basis of the point is completely different from my worldview or anything I understand. Like, for me, the problem with boomers is the exact opposite of this. It's not that they studied really well in school. It's that they've completely forgotten that they even went to school, because it was so long ago for them. That it's like, yeah, I did that, it was easy, completely forgetting probably they struggled a lot, or probably they weren't doing well the whole time. Like, they probably had problems with it. Like, I know, for example, my dad, I don't want to go too much into detail, but I know that he had a bad time in school. Like, I know certain teachers, he told me certain teachers did fucked up things to him. For example, he used to have really bad handwriting in school. I said I wouldn't go into detail, but this is actually a good example. So he told me I used to have really bad handwriting in school, but one of my teachers one day decided, I'm not going to let you get away with this. And so for a whole year, one of his teachers kept him in on lunch break, every lunch break, and forced him to do handwriting. And his handwriting's still shit, right? Guess what? I had the exact same problem in school. I also had bad handwriting. In fact, I still have bad handwriting. In fact, to the point where I failed an exam once because of my handwriting. And the exact same thing happened, but instead of a teacher, it was him. He did the exact same fucking thing. Because he can't relate his own experience in school to someone nowadays, or to someone else, because it was so long ago that it just seems like a different world. That's the difference in opinion that I don't understand here. Even though we basically believe the same thing, there's something about it that just disconnects with me. I don't understand. This guy's...
And then they just call us...
Like, I like his point. I agree with him is what I'm saying. I agree with him for different reasons. That's why something about it just it's very hard. This is why it's hard for me to talk about these videos. This is why it's been taking me so long to make this video, because every time I try and do this, I end up just being confused or just being too autistic. I don't understand.
Good for nothing, because we can't do school.
Here, let me skip forward a little bit to, like, you know, it'd be helpful to know how old this person is. They probably mentioned it at some point and I forgot.
I'm so fucking sick of all this. Ruined my mental health. I feel like shit right now. I'm just... Like, she's like, oh, you're such a bad son. You're such a bad son because you won't help me. I've been helping you for a fucking hour. And the other times that I try to avoid her when she's trying to get help with technology is because elite...
Let me skip forward a little bit, because he's now spent 5 minutes ranting about his mum.
I'm getting on that shit, okay? I don't care what she says. She can...
He's still ranting about his mum. Like, I don't understand why you would think this is interesting to share with people, even though I just did it. but there's nothing particularly interesting. Like the story is like the story that he's telling. It's a relatable meme for 5 minutes. for 3 minutes, it's a relatable meme. Boomers don't understand technology and then get frustrated with us when we try and teach them. Hell yeah. You tell it, sister. Spill the tea. Wig.
Stay away from the gummy, because my instincts are always right, and my instincts were telling me Gummy is not a good person, or things like that. So I was like, fuck that.
Who is this person? I don't
remember
know.
I made that video before.
See, this is what I'm saying. There's a bunch of community stuff that I just have no relation to, that makes it impossible for me to really understand these videos, because there's a lot of meta-textual and other shit that I don't understand. Like I don't know who they are or whatever. That makes it impossible for me to really appreciate the videos. Which is why it's been so hard for me to make this video, because A, there's that there's so much community around it that matters that I don't know about, and B, that a lot of the videos are ranting about his mum, to be honest. A lot of stuff. And topics that, although I may even agree with what he's saying on a surface level, the basis of it is so very different, or so incomprehensible to me, that, or it's not even incomprehensible, it's just like it might seem from the beginning that we agree on something, but these basic, like the base things, he understands the world in a way that I don't understand. Similar to to me, it's the same as how I can't relate to normies. Even though clearly this man is an autist. Clearly this man is autistic, right? But his autism is a very different type of autism that I have a very hard time relating to. Like this guy, I couldn't do the same things as this person. Although at the same time I can. Like, for example, he speedruns in Yume Nikki, and I also speedrun games. This is actually a very perfect example. This is a very good example of our differences as people. Okay, so I'm gonna put on his Yume Nikki speedrun in the background. Where is it? Let's just do this one. Yume Tuki. So he speedruns this Yume Nikki game, right? And as you can see, the speedrun is 42 minutes long, right? Now, we both have, you might think on a surface level, this is exactly the same thing I do. We both speedrun obscure games. However, this is where the autism difference comes in, because this speedrun is 42 minutes long. Let me skip forward to the interesting stuff. So it's a very different type of game, right? Firstly, Yume Nikki and Yume Tuki are games that I really enjoy. The entire point of the game is exploring these vast worlds. So to speedrun it is the exact opposite of what I get out of the game, which is just being lost, basically. Whereas speedrunning it is essentially defeating the game. It's like spiting the people who made the game, being like, fuck you, I know my way around these levels, I am God. Which is awesome, and I fully respect it, because a lot of speedruns I really like to watch are like that. Like, for example, GTA, like, just knowing what mission is going to come next in GTA is why I love GTA speedruns, because they're like 3 hours long, and you know exactly what's going to happen. It's fucking amazing. Like, same thing with this. I really like watching these types of speedruns, where it's like me, I spent like 3 hours in this part or whatever, wandering around, wondering where the fuck the door was, and this guy just knows instantly where to go. Like, that shit is cool to me. But the difference is, something like Yume Nikki, there's no movement. There is movement tech, because obviously there's precise movement, but like the actual movement itself isn't particularly skill based. Something like whereas the games I like to run are the exact opposite, where it's not about minor optimizations in like pathfinding and stuff. The movement itself is part of the speedrun. And the other thing is, so this, like a Yume Nikki speedrun, I'm assuming, although I've never run this game, most of the run is like just memorizing the most direct path to places and then following that as instantly as possible. Whereas, for example, Sonic R, which I run, there's only 5 maps, and each of them is like, they may be a little tough casually to know what the fastest path is, but once you watch one walkthrough, you know exactly where the fastest path is. That's not hard anymore. Like this first level, for example, this first split is 3 minutes, whereas I run ILs on Sonic R, the entire run is 50 seconds. I'm trying to shave tenths of a second off. This is where our autisms differ, right? Because he is much more interested in this sort of cataloging, this sort of rote memorization and execution. Whereas for me, it's more about these twitch movements, these very, very specific, incredibly specific, like, so if you didn't know the speedrun, you wouldn't even notice these tiny specific optimizations. Like, that is a very good example of the differences between autisms. It might seem like, oh, we're both speedrunners, we both have the similar interests, and I enjoy watching these types of speedruns. In fact, I've already watched this video because I enjoy like Yume Nikki's one of my favorite games, and this one as well, Yume 2-Key. I like it, not as much as the original, but I also like it. So watching it speedrun is really interesting to me, but I would never run this game because it's completely not the sort of stuff that appeals to me from speedrunning. But from watching it, it's interesting. Also, can we take a moment to appreciate how good looking this fucking game is? It looks amazing, as all Yume Nikki games do. I hope that makes sense. That, like, this is like, for example, those menuing stuff. I hate menuing. Menuing is my least favorite thing to do in any game, let alone speedrunning. Like, the only way this could be less relatable to me is if he was speedrunning an RPG. Like, does this make sense to you? That our tisms are, we're both tisms. We're both definitely tismed, but the tisms are very different from each other. And, like, it's definitely interesting to watch someone with a very different tism from me experience the world. But it's just slightly awkward because there's a communication breakdown. Like, there's stuff that I just seems completely natural to him that for me is completely baffling. And I'm sure it's the other way around as well. Like, trying to make this video. I'm sure if I told this guy, Red, to make a video about my channel and paid him, it would take him 5 minutes, or actually it would take him however long it took him to record the video, and he would instantly have things to say, and they'd instantly be observations they found interesting about my channel. Whereas for me, it took me months of trying to figure out stuff before I finally gave up on trying to do some philosophical deep dive, and even in the end ended up doing whatever this is, which I guess is an autism deep dive. Like, we're very, there's some key difference in our personalities that makes his videos incomprehensible to me. Even though I relate, as I just showed, like that video about boomers not understanding technology, that's one of my biggest pet peeves in life. Like, I hate that shit. But something about the way he talks about it is just very different from the way I think about it. Like, I guess I could describe it as he's very interested on the personal level of, like, this person is very annoying to me because they don't understand technology, and that person not understanding this technology is taking up my time, which is valuable, which is a perfectly reasonable stance to take. However, for me, the problem would be much more existential. Like, boomers don't understand technology, so they will be outcompeted by cybernetic people, and the lack of understanding of technology denies them access to the wired, which is one of the most important facets of my post-human philosophy. You see what I'm talking about? Like, I can't just think about things normally like that. Like, watching someone think about it normally like that in a normal way it's not stimulating for my mind. Although I can tell he's definitely thinking about this stuff in a way that is not the typical way that most, like, your average normie would think about it. Your average normie probably wouldn't even think about it. Like, he's breaking it down in a very physical, materialist, like this is what happened, this is why it annoys me, and like that. Whereas I can't think like that. everything you show me, I have to think about it on like a meta level. I can't not. As you saw, like, he probably has never even thought about why he chose to speed. Like, he probably just thought, You Made Tuki is a great game. I'm going to play it until I'm the best I can possibly be at it. Which is a perfectly reasonable and sensical way to think. Whereas when I look at it, I'm like breaking down all the differences, spiritual differences this speedrun has to what I do. Like, there's just a very different type of tism going on here that I say it confuses me, but that's not really the case. It's just well, in a sense it does, but it's just like I can't think of things in the same way that like in the same not analytical, but the analysis is very different. What we choose to analyze about the world is very different from like a more concrete to a more esoteric or abstract way. I hope I'm making sense. I also hope this was worth whatever money you paid me. I'm sorry it took me so long. I'm just retarded. But I think this video came out decently in the end. I don't think I should have spent so long trying to make... So my deep points, I was like trying to make points about how people who go on the NEET subreddit are like so stupid because NEETdom is like a philosophical rejection of whatever, and whereas Reddit is a philosophical embracing of, and it was all over the place really. And then I was trying to analyze, because he said like, what do you think of the deep lore of my channel? I went way overboard analyzing shit, and I was like thinking of like, in this video he's in this room, and in this video he's filming with a GoPro on his head, and in this video, and I was like getting all into my own head, reading stuff into it that probably wasn't even there in the first place, and trying to make it all make sense in a video form, but it didn't make sense in a video form because I didn't want to script it, and it was all fucked. So I'm glad I did it like this because I made my point and it was all fine. I worried too much about things, which is completely typical for me. So there you have it. Anyway, my voice is getting sore now, so I'm gonna stop talking, but that's it.